Hey guys, my name is Brooke,
I'm Jessie.
and we are starting our first ever podcast together. I'm so excited. We are both special ed teachers. Oh, and this is
Willow.
We are and the washer and dryer behind me. We are starting like our first ever podcast. This is episode 1, season 1, episode 1. And I teach in a self-contained classroom, so does Jessie, but I teach the 9th through 12th graders, and then you teach the
adults, and they are 18 to 22, and most of them Brooke has already had before, so she also gets to see their growth as well as help me in how I teach them.
I know, it's fun because I get them before they go to her program, and so Jessie is actually a first-year teacher, and I just started year 8. So our first episode, we wanted to talk a little bit about what life is like for you teaching, like your first semester, your first 9 or not first semester, your first 9 weeks, your first quarter, and then how, I guess, I wouldn't consider myself a veteran teacher, but
I would consider you a veteran.
Maybe 8 years? I don't know what veteran teacher. I feel like that's more like 15 to 20. But I can kind of give my perspective. So, how's your first year of teaching been?
I would say,
you know what we should tell them?
What about our student?
She was my student teacher when so we're in 2023. Last fall, you were my student teacher, and she was amazing as a student teacher, and we knew that she was amazing, and we wanted to snag her as a teacher here at our school.
It's been a year exactly since last year since I student taught.
Oh my god!
I know.
Were you afraid when you student taught?
Honestly, I didn't want to come to high school at all. I didn't think I wanted to teach high school.
Really?
At all. I thought I wanted to teach elementary, but now it's the opposite. Now that I've started.
And so now you're like, you really like high school?
Yes, and I would never want to teach elementary.
Did you think you were going to be in the adult program that you're in now?
Well, I honestly didn't even know it existed until I guess this job opportunity, or until I was student teaching.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know much about it. I liked the program that you were doing, obviously, and then I didn't look into it until this job opportunity came up, and I just thought, why not? Let's go for it.
I'm glad that I was a little worried when you found out that you were going to do the adult program, because her program you go like off campus a lot, and it's a lot of like pre-planning and stuff that you have to do. And I wasn't sure how. I knew you could handle that. I knew you'd probably like really like it, but I thought, part of me was like, what if she just doesn't like it at all? Or like, what if they offer that part to you and then you just don't? You were like, I didn't sign up for this. I wanted to do more of the high schoolers, 9th through 12th grade.
Yeah, I guess something that made me want to do it was I knew the other position that was offered, I was a little unsure if I was going to have my own classroom, and it was kind of going to be more of inclusion, and I wanted my own classroom, no doubt.
Yeah.
Especially my first year, just to kind of not be so spread out.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite things about the program that I'm in is the planning part, which is really strange.
You like the planning?
Yes.
So you like the going off campus?
Yeah,
that would freak
I do
me
love
out.
it. It definitely is a lot.
When you texted me because you were like, I'm really excited. I got T2. Guess what? And I may or may not have known that before you got it. Just a little bit before you got it.
Yeah.
But you texted me, you're so excited. I was like, oh, thank God she's so excited. I thought she was going to be so nervous. I thought, so like, I would be really nervous about going in the community. Just for like safety stuff. Yeah. But I think you're so good at thinking like outside the box with community things. Yeah. And you take the kids to like really fun places. Like,
I just feel like they should go to those places, and especially in school, sometimes parents don't have the time, especially if they have other kids, to make that time to have, productive outing. Yeah. And if they do go to those places, it's more of kind of rush. Okay, let's just get this and leave. Yeah. And I try to make our outings where we really do something within that store, or even just exploring the store, which they don't get to just mosey around sometimes, which I let them do just to kind of figure out what they like to do and see new things.
You have some really cute pictures of your kids.
Oh, yeah, I know. They're so cute.
They're so cute. I love that.
They are. I would
but
say
you like the planning of that?
yes, and I like kind of in sports. There's a position called director of operations in college and pro sports. That's a designated position on your coaching staff, and I've always loved like the things that I do, whether that's planning hotels, planning where you can eat, making Excel sheets, all that stuff. So I have enjoyed that, which honestly is surprising. And I think if I would have known everything that the job entailed, I would have been more nervous, but I didn't know much. And then I went into a professional development day for it with all of the county teachers because it's technically a county position.
Yeah, and not
you're
school
just like
specific.
housed
in the school. Okay.
And so we went over everything that it was, all the rules and regulations. And there was a teacher next to me, and she said, last year was my first year, and after this meeting I was freaking out. I thought, oh no, this is about to make me freak out. I didn't really, which she was surprised too, but I guess I just kind of do things as they come or like when they're needed.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I feel like that's really accurate of who you are.
Yeah, just because I know if I do try to look at everything ahead, it'll stress me out.
Yeah, you have like the most relaxed, chill, but also like really fun personality.
Yeah,
like you're as a first year teacher, if I was a mess, I feel like I'm even still kind of a mess now.
Sometimes I do feel like I'm a mess.
But as a first year teacher, you'll come in the mornings and I'm like, she's so relaxed and like not stressed. And I walk in and I'm like, oh. But then I see you, I'm like, I need to chill out a little bit, like take a more relaxed approach.
I do feel like your job requires you to be kind of not on it, but you teach, you're teaching those actual academic skills, whereas my teaching can be more relaxed because it's just life.
Yeah,
like
you're doing, the life skills.
We can just have a conversation, and having a conversation about what happened at the red light this morning is helpful and beneficial to them. Whereas, sometimes you don't have time.
We don't have any. I feel like we don't have any time. Like as soon as we get in the building, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know.
And you guys, you follow the bell schedule kind of.
Ish. Yeah.
But my kids go from class to class to class. So as soon as the bell rings, like unless they won't miss class, but like if we've got stuff that we have to do before class starts, we have to do it like before the bell even rings.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so the teacher before me, she ran her class on the bell schedule.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was too short.
So what do you do in there, like when the bell? Because I don't know what I would do without the bells.
Yeah,
the bells rule our lives.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to the bell, honestly, unless it's lunch. But I mean, we just have so probably a day in the life is, they do the come in and they just kind of do whatever they want, and then we say the pledge, announcement or morning announcements, and then we do either morning meeting, which is just somebody from the class leads morning meeting, and I'm kind of up there helping. Okay. Then we have a question of the day, which is normally, what did you do this weekend? That's on Mondays. And then Fridays, what are you going to do this weekend? Or random questions in the middle would be like, what's your favorite animal? What's your favorite food? Things like that. And then they're the teacher for morning meeting, and then it rotates.
Oh, I like that.
So they're working on multiple things there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Do they love doing that?
Yes, they do. I say, who wants to lead morning meeting? And all of them.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Do you do it with the ones that have the devices too?
I do.
Oh, I love that. Yes. That's so fun.
They don't lead as much just because of time restraints, but they participate.
Yeah.
And then we'll do, let's think, second period. So normally we go out in the community. We leave at 8:30.
Yeah.
And so we'll be out in the community from 8:30 to about 10:30. Then that leaves time for maybe a small snack break when we get back, and then straight into lunch. And then...
Wow, that's a really busy morning.
Yeah. Go straight into lunch. And then after lunch, we normally do job boxes, which are variations of hundreds of different tasks that they can do: sorting, filing, community skills, money skills, all that. I also throw in jobs at some point. I try to every day, whether that's shredding, taking. I have a student. Their job is just taking attendance to the office. So they work on getting it off of the printer.
Yeah.
For, I guess, mobility with their hands, and they also have to remind me to get the attendance.
Oh,
so it's their
good.
job to remember. And then what else?
I like that. I should do that. 'cause I
Job
feel like I forget
boxes.
stuff.
Then they have PE, and then 8th period. Normally we do a writing activity, or they have theater.
Do you have them like email when they do the
Yes,
writing
they
activity?
email me, and then I'll print it off, and then if it's to mom or dad, I print it off and put
Yeah.
it in their backpack.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
You guys have you've got it like structured really nicely, even though you don't follow the bell schedule.
I feel like, to me, it doesn't feel structured, but then when I explain it, I'm like, okay, maybe that is a little bit
because
structured.
you know like exactly when you're going to start
Right.
the next thing. Do
Yeah.
they like struggle to transition from thing to thing?
Not really, because I'll set a timer, or I'll say, okay, when the bell rings.
Yeah.
I'll glance at the time to know when the bell's going to ring. And then if we don't go out in the community until afternoon, we do morning meeting, then we do morning binder, which is a little along the lines of morning meeting calendar stuff,
Yeah.
functional stuff, hygiene, like you're getting ready in the morning. And then we do either a growth binder, which is talking about the growth mindset, and we do that as a class.
Oh,
fun. Or we do task boxes, something educational and academic.
Yeah.
And then that period, they're working for probably an hour straight. So
Wow.
I then give them a 30 to 40 minute just break.
Yeah.
Where they can read, and it's a quiet break where they can read a book, they can play Uno with each other.
Yeah.
I'm really strict on being on your computers and video breaks. I have one student who that's all she wants for a break, so I do allow that. But
so you make them choose like something else that's not a video. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically. And normally they're really good about it. They don't, and I have the good sensory room, so they just hang out in there.
It's huge.
The swing and everything. And so that big break is really good, and then during the break they can have snack time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I feel like she's so on it as a first year teacher. Like I don't know if I would have been able to do that as a first year teacher.
I guess looking back on my first 9 weeks, it is a lot, and I just don't even know it.
Did you feel like you were busy all the time? Like, did you feel like you could, like at the end of the school day, where you're like, oh, I got to prep for the next day, or oh, I got to plan this, or I got to do this?
So for the first, I guess probably 2 to 3 weeks, I felt like that. But then the way that my class runs, it's kind of what comes that day is what I'm going to teach.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it kind of planned out in a sense of I keep note of what students are struggling on as a whole, so I can teach a whole lesson. But specifically, I teach with the job boxes that we have. So, and I'll kind of keep a running record in my head. Okay, this person needs to work on this, or this person needs to work on that. Yeah. But for the most part, I do feel like my to-do list is always running. Yeah. Like it never gets smaller.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it never goes away.
Right.
I don't think that ever goes away. Like whether you're a gen ed teacher or a special ed teacher, like I think it's always like the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
Right. And yeah. And I have figured out, I think I like that. I think I like always have something to
This is why you're so chill and relaxed. You're like, I love this. And I'm like, why is this not done? Yeah. Like, I have so many things on my list to do.
And I've also had to accept the fact, like, I can't get everything done in one day.
Yes.
Which I think I was a little bit like that.
That took me so many years to figure out. Like, my first year, I would stay at school until like 9 o'clock at night, almost every night. I was exhausted. But it wasn't like I was poorly, like, managing my time. Although, if I really think about it, some things I like created on my own and implemented in class, and it was a waste of time. Like,
yes,
I implemented things that I look back on now, and I'm like, that wasn't really necessary
So
for me to do, but you're just kind of in that
Yeah.
first year mindset where you're like, let's try this, let's try this.
I
Let's see if
have
this
had some of
works.
those ideas, and like I made a daily schedule where I thought it was going to be so great. You know, I made all these materials, put it on the
Yeah.
wall, all Velcro and everything. And then we use it, but it's now in their daily binder. So it has switched.
Is it the thing that you have on the board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I like
And
that.
so I had it where they went over to it instead of it just being in their binders. But it being in their binders is a lot better now because
Yeah.
I use that space for the donut shop now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I also think of things. I've realized, you know, if I want to implement something, the time to do it is when I have a break and I can fully, a break as in, you know, a week long, like fall
Yeah.
break, Christmas break, Thanksgiving. I can have a long time to actually look into materials and what I want to use.
And not just like implement it on a whim.
Yes, because I think it would be good. Which I already have so many things I want to do in the summer.
But you didn't feel like the schedule that you made was like wasted time, did you?
No, I didn't feel like it was wasted.
Because then you like use that for something else.
Yeah, I used it for the daily binders, but it wasn't. It was a great idea.
Yeah, they're good ideas.
Yeah,
You
and
have really
also
good ideas.
it helps some kids, and some kids don't even need it. You know, it's too easy for some.
Yeah,
but and just figuring out, especially because I hadn't worked with those kids, figuring out what they needed.
Yeah,
based on kid to kid.
And that's kind of cool to like implement, or sometimes you have to just implement something like across the board for everybody.
Right.
And then see like, okay, who does this stick with and who doesn't need this, or do we just scrap it all together? Like, I feel like sometimes as a first year teacher, even if you're not, you can still take chances, like implement something new and just see what it is, because it may be really great.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the things that I implement though are on a whim and then they end up being the best thing. But when I sit and like plan out something for, you know, however long, like I'm like, man, I spent so much time on this and it didn't even work.
Yes.
And then I'll think of something in the moment in class and I'm like, and then
you're really
sticks.
good at that. Yeah.
I'm like, why does this have to be like this?
You are really good at that.
But I'm a planner. Like, I have to plan. I can't not plan for class.
Right.
Because then I feel like it's going to be chaotic.
Yeah.
But do you have any tips for first year teachers? I hope this doesn't feel like I'm interviewing you, because I don't want to. Okay. But also, let me ask you all these questions.
No, I guess first year teacher, don't be afraid to, you know, mess up and ask questions. Because, I mean, I think I come to you every day. You know, what's this? What's this?
She's the TikTok where it's like, what's the one where it's like, you're the problem?
Yeah.
Trying to like get work done. I'm like,
yes.
Not in a bad way though.
No,
not because I love you coming in. And like you and one of our other teachers.
Yeah.
You and I will go and find our other teacher too and bother her.
Yeah.
But and I love when you come in, so that's clearly just a joke. But
I'll ask you or the other teacher. But I would say, you know, you don't know the answer unless you ask.
That's true. I was so afraid to ask questions.
And I think also if I ask a question and we're really good and you don't know the answer, about collaborating together, figuring it out.
Yes. Yeah. That's true.
I don't know why we're so good at that, but we are.
It just goes so well together. We're going to go into business together. Watch out, world.
Yeah.
Here we come. Watch out. I was terrified to ask questions my first year with certain things.
I'll also say, like, the school that I'm at, the environment and the administration has made it that way.
Yeah,
you know,
if
it was
welcoming.
Different types of people, I could see how you could be nervous or intimidated.
I felt like I needed to know way more than I knew going into my first year.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I asked questions, I was like, man, I don't want my mentor teacher to think that I like didn't learn this or should have already known it.
Right.
So a lot of times I'd go up to her and be like, I think this is something I should already know, but can you help me with this?
But
and then she'd reassure me and she'd be like, no, you shouldn't have already known this, but yeah, we'll go over it.
Yeah. No, but I feel like you mentored me as a mentor teacher even when I was student teaching.
Yeah, because you already know a lot of stuff now.
Yes.
Not just because of me though, because you've been at
but I think a lot of it was
schools.
Creds to you too.
I gave you free reign. I was like, you're going to teach every single class and I'm going to sit back here and get my work done.
Yep. I'm sure it was really helpful too.
It was, but I don't want to have another student teacher because they're not going to be as good as you. It's like I got so lucky.
Yeah.
our other teacher, our department chair, she's like, do you want another student teacher? Nope.
No.
She's like, yeah, Jessie's a 1 in a million right here. You could get anybody. But that's kind of negative to say because like some people really need like influencing and like forming as a teacher.
Right.
So
And
that's not to all the teachers who don't just have it, like the student teachers who don't have it like right off the bat. So
but also coming into student teaching, this was honestly the first placement that I had really taught at.
Oh yeah, because you said your last one was like structured differently, or you guys like did completely different things.
Yeah, and it was strictly self-contained. We did not leave the classroom, which was different to me. And I got mixed up in COVID with student teaching and not student teaching, but practicums. I did a lot of my practicums virtual, which was just watching videos.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think about how COVID would impact you as a student teacher.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a whole other episode about COVID.
I know.
And how it impacted the classroom and what you are going through as student teaching.
Yeah.
Because that's nuts.
Crazy. I know. So how's year 8 going?
I am full transparency. I came into the school year feeling really stale about teaching. Like I feel like I should have I'm really bad about change. And I should have over the summer either looked for maybe a different school, which I didn't really want to do that, but also maybe like a different just career in general. But then I'm like, oh no, I got a career crisis. Like what? I always felt like I should be teaching, but I'm just so exhausted. Like it's so tiring. But I love my kids. I love this school too. Wish we could tell you what school we're at, but we can't. But the reason I wanted to come back was because I knew you were coming to teach, and then our department chair, she's retiring, so I'm like I have to teach one more year with her and soak up her knowledge, and she's so much fun too.
Yeah.
So, but year 8 started off really stressful, and I just felt like I was a first year teacher at the beginning of this year, like. And not like a first year teacher like you first. I felt like I was like the struggling first year. I'm like, what is going on? I should be a little bit more with it. But we had so many staff changes.
Yeah.
We have had so many, like my kids' personal schedules have changed so much. Then when new students come in, they've changed. Like my whole like classroom dynamic for the last like 4 years or 3 years, it's like varied from year to year. But this year, for some reason, like, how many kids did I have leave last year? Oh, only had 1.
Just 1. But you have 3 new ones.
I have 3 new kids. Yeah. So that changes the dynamic a lot. So I'm like learning how to teach differently and do different things in class, which change. I'm like, here we go, change. I'm gonna be, just nervous about that. But that was a lot. I feel like now that the first quarter is kind of like out of the way.
You feel better.
We've got 3 more. I'm on the countdown to summer
already.
Yeah, but I will say when you've been like, I've told you this before, but she's been such a joy to our department. Like you brought in this like fresh, light, like fun. I never dress up for dress up days before. Maybe once or twice. We make TikToks together now. I'm like, oh, this is so fun.
I know.
So now I feel like I owe that to you though.
I will say one thing that other first year teachers that I've talked to and met through just professional development days, and I don't know if it's just the school I'm at or the people that are at this school, I love coming to work every day, and some of them do not like going to work. And I don't know if it's because it's their first year or the people that they're in, but also I love working with you guys too, and it's just it makes it that much more fun.
I feel like the kids can tell that too.
Yeah,
like they know that we're super into school stuff.
Right.
I think when you don't like. Oh, let me back up. When you don't have a supportive admin, because our admin is amazing.
Yeah.
Like one of the best ones. I've only worked for one other one, and they're both like neck and neck. I feel like when you don't like the people, I don't want to say don't like, when you don't work well with the people in your department,
right?
That's really hard too.
Yeah, it's
and
hard because then you start to isolate, and then it's just a whole mess. I feel like.
And the job coaches or the paras, we call them TAs.
Yeah.
Teaching assistants, but they're whatever you want to call, if they're job coaches, paras, whatever. I feel like if those personalities don't mesh well, sometimes too, that can be a struggle.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. Teaching is so delicate. People don't realize, like,
I know all the.
Oh well, they're just kids in your classroom. Like the kids' personalities when they mesh, the staff, the other teachers when you go into like Jenna classes or like Jenna teachers that you have to work with too. No, it's crazy.
Yeah, I also feel like something that's made my year amazing is the staff in my room. Incredible staff. They're just so great. And another thing that I've learned as first year teacher, you know, I can't do everything on my own. I can put some stuff on other people.
Yeah.
Which has helped, and that's just something that in my life that I have always done is, you know, I want to do it because I want to make sure I do it right and how I want it done. But I've had to release a little bit and just let somebody else do it.
How did you feel when you did that? Were you like, okay, here you can try it?
I mean, every time I'm still
don't mess it up.
Okay, here you go. You can do this, and I want you to do it like this and like this.
Yeah.
But if for the most part, if I tell them exactly how I want it done, they do it. I do pick specific ones that I prefer to do the work, but.
Yeah, and sometimes you got, like, when you got personalities that, like, some kids work really well with other kids, and just, I feel like the staff in here is incredible too. I feel like we've been really blessed.
Yeah, I feel like we're too.
Yeah, and they do such a hard job for so little pay. That have to be a completely different episode. Because we have paras or TAs, whatever, job coaches who could be teachers.
Yes.
And probably better than what I'm doing. Like, you could do this a lot better than me. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Like, you don't get paid enough, but can you help me?
Yeah, no doubt.
If only they could write progress reports and IEPs for us. We don't do that. We're not allowed to do that. That would be really helpful.
That would be.
So year 8 teacher tips. I don't have any. Survive. Whatever you thought you did last year, probably won't be able to do it again this year.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So my tip would be, what I've learned a lot from you is to chill and relax. And they can probably tell our personality difference because I'm moving around all the time and you're sat still the entire time in one position. But this is why we're good. We're a good duo.
Yeah.
But just relax more. And my big thing is, I'm huge on like boundaries this year. I have like this need to want to be at home more because like my family dynamic is different.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've really set a lot of boundaries and tried to do more like a workout after school and like really try to take care of myself.
Yeah.
It's sometimes though, it's almost like the more I do it, the worse it gets. I'm like, maybe I don't need to take care of myself. Yeah. Maybe I'll just be here the whole time.
No, I've definitely thought of that too. And I guess one of the questions you asked me before school even started, like, what am I most nervous about? And one of my answers was, you know, taking work home or taking care of myself or something like that. But since I am coaching, I have to work out in the morning, or I won't work out till 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's true. What time do you get up?
4:45. What time do you get up?
So I get up at 4:40, between 4:45 and 5, but I meditate in the mornings. So that'll have to be a whole. I'm on this like huge meditation kick.
I'm jealous.
It's a bit like I have been ever since the summer. I've been doing it all school year.
Has it helped you?
Oh yeah.
Wow, I'm jealous.
Some people are like into the spiritual. No, I don't know. Let's not. We'll go into something different, but we can talk about it afterwards. But I'm like, I got to get my mind right before the day starts.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
I got to make sure I'm not rude to people.
So
some days I still have.
I do feel like
it's not a magic thing to do.
I guess I feel like I do that when I work out without even meditating.
Yeah, you get in a zone for sure. Yeah. Especially you're running a lot. So yeah.
And I just feel so much better when I work out in the morning.
Oh yeah. Endorphins.
And when when the team works out in the morning, I do work out in the afternoons.
Yeah.
Because then I just feel like a slug if I don't work out at all.
Instead of going home. I'm glad you don't go home and do work.
Yeah. I'm honestly really surprised that I haven't done that more because I thought I would.
But you'll also stay and like get your stuff done here.
Yes. Yeah.
I live further away
Yeah,
than
that
you
is
do.
true.
I'm like 35 to 40-ish minutes away.
Yeah.
Which is a pain in
Yeah,
the
I'm only
butt for a
15.
drive. And you're only 15. God, what would that be?
I know.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Also, sometimes by the time I get home, I'm like ready for bed. 6 o'clock, I'll eat dinner. It's 7 o'clock. Okay, 7:30. Yeah, I kind of want to get in bed.
You're like, I can get in bed and snuggle.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a me mom hour. It's a
It
me
is
mom
hour for me around starting at 7 o'clock. Oh, I also am in school. I forgot. Yes.
Okay, so like even more hands down to you for as chill as you are, because I was in school while I was teaching too, and it was so hard. Like it was really hard.
Last week was a little rough because I had 3 classes at once, which normally I'm only in 1 or 2 at once.
So you got a paper done in like 2 hours?
8-page paper in 2 hours. Yeah.
That's
and
so
it's just
funny.
having, I have a constant, I always have to do something when I get home, but been really good about trying to get it done as soon as I get home, because if I don't do it as soon as I get home, I'll be lazy.
And no room for dating.
Yeah, literally.
No, that could be an entirely different episode. Dating and your first year teaching. We have so many episode ideas.
We would also love your input.
Huh?
Love the viewers' input.
Oh, we want your. I was like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? Do you want my input? Oh, we're talking to you guys. We want your input. What do you want to hear from us? Because we could probably sit and talk. I could sit and talk longer than this.
Oh.
First episode in the books.
Yes.
So
much more to come.
Yes, so much more to come. We're just here to help. We're here to provide humor and Jessie with the chill vibes.
Relaxation.
And also, you probably can't see, but we're in the book nook.
Yes.
I don't think you can see that, but that's okay. All right, we'll come next week, episode 2. We'll think of a good one. So,
see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.